Let us explore a growing area of concern at the intersection of nanotechnology and public health: nanofood safety. Nanoparticles are increasingly used in food applications, from additives and preservatives to packaging materials and agricultural products. They promise benefits like longer shelf life, improved nutrient delivery, and more efficient pest control. But these same properties raise important questions about what happens when these particles enter the human body. Nanoparticles are extremely small, often less than 100 nanometers in size, which allows them to behave differently from bulk materials. Their tiny size can improve solubility, enhance absorption, or make packaging more effective at blocking oxygen and moisture. For example, nanosilver is used for its antimicrobial properties in food storage, while nanotitanium dioxide can act as a whitening or anti-caking agent. But you might ask, could these particles also interact with our biology in unintended ways? One major concern is ingestion and accumulation. Because nanoparticles can cross biological barriers more easily than larger particles, they may penetrate cells and tissues in the digestive system. Some studies suggest that they could generate oxidative stress or inflammation if they accumulate in organs. Another concern is their potential impact on the gut microbiome, the community of bacteria that plays a vital role in digestion and immunity. Even small disruptions to this ecosystem could have long-term health effects. You might wonder, are these risks proven? The answer is not yet clear. Many nanoparticles used in food products have been deemed safe based on traditional toxicity tests. However, standard testing methods may not fully capture how nanoparticles interact with biological systems because their properties, high surface area, reactivity, and ability to cross barriers, make them behave differently. Regulatory agencies are beginning to adapt. The European Food Safety Authority, EFSA, for instance, now requires specific nano-level safety assessments for food additives. But there is still no global consensus on testing standards, and the long-term effects of chronic, low-level nanoparticle exposure remain poorly understood. Why does this matter? Because the use of nanoparticles in agriculture and food packaging is growing rapidly, often without consumers even being aware of it. Understanding their safety is essential not only for human health, but also for maintaining trust in emerging technologies. Research is now focusing on three key areas: tracking nanoparticles in the human body to see where they go after ingestion, understanding their interactions with the gut microbiome and immune system, developing safer, more biodegradable nanoparticles that minimize risk. Nanofoods refer to food products or packaging that use nanoparticles or nanoscale processes to improve texture, taste, preservation, or nutrient delivery. These particles are typically smaller than 100 nanometers, giving them unique chemical and physical properties. Nanotechnology is also used in agricultural products, such as nanofertilizers and pesticides, that can enter the food chain. While these innovations promise improved safety and efficiency, their small size raises potential health concerns. Regulatory frameworks are still catching up with the fast growth of nanofood applications. Titanium dioxide, E171, used as a whitening agent in candies, can contain nanoparticles. It is like switching from regular-sized sugar crystals to sugar dust. The dust behaves differently because of its size. Nanoparticles have high surface area-to-volume ratios, which can make them more reactive than bulk materials. This reactivity can lead to beneficial effects, such as stronger antimicrobial activity in packaging, but it could also cause toxicity in living systems. Their small size allows them to cross biological barriers, including cell membranes, that larger particles cannot. And once inside the body, nanoparticles could accumulate in tissues and organs, raising questions about long-term exposure and chronic health effects. Silver nanoparticles in food packaging can migrate into food and enter the digestive system. It is like tiny needles slipping through a fabric's weave. while larger objects would be blocked. When ingested, nanoparticles encounter complex biological environments, including saliva, stomach acid, and digestive enzymes. Their chemical coatings and aggregation behavior can change during digestion, affecting absorption. Some nanoparticles may pass through the intestinal lining into the bloodstream, while others remain in the gut. The extent of absorption depends on particle type, size, and surface chemistry. Understanding these interactions is critical for assessing health risks. Studies show that smaller titanium dioxide nanoparticles can cross the gut barrier more readily than larger particles. It is like marbles rolling through a grate. The smaller ones fall through, while the bigger ones are stopped. The gut microbiome plays a key role in digestion, immunity, and overall health, and nanoparticles could disrupt this delicate ecosystem by killing beneficial bacteria or altering microbial balance. Even subtle changes in the microbiome can influence inflammation, metabolism, and disease risk. Long-term exposure to nanoparticles through food could lead to cumulative effects. Research on how different nanoparticles interact with gut microbes is still limited but urgently needed. Silver nanoparticles are known to have antimicrobial effects, which could harm beneficial gut bacteria. It is like using a broad-spectrum pesticide in a garden. It may kill pests, but also the helpful pollinators. Nanoparticles are also introduced into the food chain through agriculture. Nanofertilizers and pesticides can persist in soil and water, where they may be taken up by plants and animals. Environmental exposure complicates safety assessments because humans may ingest nanoparticles from multiple sources. The persistence and mobility of nanoparticles in ecosystems could lead to bioaccumulation, highlighting the need for monitoring nanoparticles from farm to table. Zinc oxide nanoparticles used in fertilizers can accumulate in edible plant tissues. It is like tiny beads entering a river system and eventually appearing in the fish you eat. Despite increasing use of nanofoods, much remains unknown about their safety. Many studies are conducted in vitro or on animal models, making it difficult to predict human health effects. Differences in particle size, shape, and coatings create variability in results, and standardized testing protocols are lacking, which hampers risk assessment. Filling these gaps requires coordinated research efforts across toxicology, nanotechnology, and nutrition science. Conflicting studies have shown both harmless and harmful effects of titanium dioxide nanoparticles in rodents. It is like having puzzle pieces from different sets. The incomplete picture makes conclusions uncertain. Regulating nanoparticles in food is complex because they are often chemically identical to approved bulk materials. Laws vary by region, with some agencies requiring specific approval for nano-sized additives while others do not. Clear labeling is rare, so consumers may not know when they are eating nanofoods. Without transparency, it is difficult to track exposure and make informed choices. Stronger regulatory frameworks could ensure safety and public trust. The European Food Safety Authority, EFSA, recently banned titanium dioxide as a food additive due to safety concerns. It is like selling two versions of a car, one with untested modifications, without telling buyers which one they're getting. Nanotechnology in food has potential benefits, including improved nutrient delivery, reduced food waste, and enhanced safety through antimicrobial packaging. For example, nanoparticles can encapsulate vitamins to protect them from degradation until they reach the gut. Safer pesticide delivery systems could reduce chemical runoff into the environment. Balancing these benefits with rigorous safety evaluation is essential. If managed well, nanofoods could be a valuable innovation. Nano-encapsulation of omega-3 fatty acids helps mask their taste and improve absorption in functional foods. It is like packaging a fragile item in a shock-proof case to ensure it arrives intact. Ensuring nanofood safety requires more research on long-term health effects, bioaccumulation, and interactions with the microbiome. Developing advanced detection and tracking methods will help monitor nanoparticles from production to consumption. Transparent labeling and standardized testing can build consumer confidence. Collaboration among scientists, regulators, and industry is necessary to balance innovation with safety. Ultimately, understanding nanofoods will deepen our knowledge of both technology and biology. Next-generation sensors could track how nanoparticles break down in the human gut in real time. It is like installing a GPS tracker to follow a delivery's route from warehouse to doorstep.